On that note, I do want to switch over to our next segment, which is around Justice Rouleau's decision regarding Justin Trudeau's invocation of the Emergencies Act. That was the big news of last week. It dropped on Friday. You always know they want to bury a story when it drops Friday afternoon. Justice Rouleau announced that, or he released his 2,000-page report explaining his findings from the Freedom Convoy, the People's inquiry, and it found that Justin Trudeau was in fact justified in invoking the Emergencies Act. So what did you think of this decision, Maxime? Were you surprised by their findings?
No, I was not surprised. As you may know, Justice Rouleau was a liberal and federal activist with under the Prime Minister at that time, John Turner. Yes, he worked with John Turner. So you had a liberal judge doing an investigation on the liberal government.
Yeah, so, liberals investigate liberals and finds liberals are not guilty.
Yeah, and but the surprise was when I've read the editorial board of the Global Mail. The Global Mail said that they did not agree with the conclusion from the judge. Wow. So it's not only me and you, because we believe that Trudeau didn't have any justification to invoke the Emergencies Act. And if you read the Act, Section 2, you need to have,
I think we have a slide.
Yeah, so if you read the Section 2, it's very clear that you need to have an insurrection.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. And you need also the life of Canadians must be in danger and all that.
It must be a serious thing that current police authorities and government authorities can't deal with.
Yeah, and what the judge said, he said, maybe the Ontario police, provincial police, and the police, the Ottawa police didn't manage very well that, and because of that, Trudeau had some justification to invoke the Emergencies Acts, but that was not in the law. That is not in the Emergency Acts. The reason are all there. What you must have in a society to be able to invoke that, and the judge was just there to give a pass to Justin Trudeau. But I was pleased to read that the leftist Global Mail, said that the judge was wrong, and they were right about that.
Yeah. So Rouleau suggested that there was a serious threat to Canadian security.
Wasn't.
You were there. You were on the ground.
You were there. You were there also.
You didn't have security around you.
No.
Did you think there was a security threat?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I don't like to call the Freedom Convoy a protest. For me, it was a celebration. That was fun. That was celebration with families and people. And we knew at that time that something will happen because, people across the country were happy with the Freedom Convoy, welcoming the Freedom Convoy in their municipalities or in their towns or in their city. And it was not only here in Ottawa, but it was a convoy coming from the east and the west, all going to Ottawa. So we knew at that time that being all there together against these draconian measures, not based on science, that something would happen. And that happened a couple of days after that. Saskatchewan, Alberta left their draconian measures, and other provinces. So, and the violence just started when Trudeau and the police decided, we're gonna do everything for you not to be here anymore. Yeah. And so that was the violence was coming from the police and the government, not from the people over there. It was a celebration. It was fun.
Yeah. The office we're sitting in right now, we're right on the edge of what was the red zone.
Oh, yeah.
A year ago. The only time I was concerned about leaving this office was when the police started marching on the protesters. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Before that, there was definitely no concerns of danger.
And also, if people want to know a little bit more about our position on that, and they want to see some footage of what happened a year ago, we did a nice video about it, and it's on the social media. It's only 6 minutes, but it's a nice video of the situation a year ago. And
it's on all of our social media channels. You can head over to YouTube. It should be our most recent video there, remembering the Freedom Convoy, a nice little commemorative speech that you gave.
yeah,
One other thing that I thought was kind of shocking was the most, I think, disturbing mechanism used by the Trudeau government was the freezing of bank accounts. We saw a wide use of this from organizers, but also to people that were donating. And this really shook a lot of Canadians. Like people were even scared of like making donations to the PPC in fear that they might have their bank accounts frozen, which is so absurd. Like donating to a protest or a political party could end up with some sort of sanctions in a state is straight out of a banana republic. But Rouleau found it was not only justified but an effective mechanism to clamp down on protests. Do you have any thoughts?
Shame on him. That was a measure that you can see that under a dictatorship. And actually, when the Trudeau government did that, I can tell you that, I didn't do any mainstream Canadian media during the Freedom Convoy, but I did at that time. I was with a mainstream TV show in France, in Germany, in UK. Speaking about that, people in these countries did not understand what is happening in Canada, what was happening in Canada at that time, freezing bank account of ordinary Canadians who donated for, a legal cause and not being able to have access to their bank account. That's why I believe Judge Rouleau said that, but also the good news about his report, it's not, it's not a legal decision coming from a tribunal. So that's why you still have, and that's great, Canadians who are in court right now against what Trudeau did and against the Emergencies Act. And so we'll see what a tribunal will say about that. And it may be very different than what Mr. Rouleau said in his report. So we'll see. But all these people, they have a case against the government, freezing their account for nothing. They have a case, and that's in from the court right now. So we'll see what will happen.
Yeah, just disappointing to see coming from our government, even though it's not surprising. As I said, it was a 2,000-page report. We could comb through this all day. There's so many disturbing kind of sections. There's another one where he talks about how it was okay for the first weekend. They were invited to come down, but past Monday, that was unacceptable. They were no longer invited.
It's the same people, though.
It's just
the
nonsense.
Same people were
it's
peaceful.
Not a party, it's
peaceful,
a protest. It's a peaceful protest. It doesn't matter if they overstayed their welcome. Like that's not how peaceful. We have a right to peaceful protest in this country, even if it makes people uncomfortable.
Absolutely. But Justin Trudeau said you have a right to protest when it's in line with what he believes.
Yeah, exactly.
Black Lives Matters, that's okay. You can come. You can protest in the street. But protesting against Justin Trudeau, oh, no, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
No. In a real democracy, you may be able to protest. And when Trudeau said, during that inquiry, he said, it's not the right way to use your time, you as Canadian, to come here and to protest to change politics. You must not do that, protesting to change public policies. Actually, it is why people are protesting
in peasants.
Yeah, in a democracy, it is why people are protesting, because they are against a public policy. But for Trudeau, it's okay to protest when you're from the left and when you're globalist and when you are woke. But if you want to protest on his policies and his actions, everything that he did in government, oh no, we must invoke the Emergencies Act because it's very dangerous.
It's disappointing to see, but again, not surprising. And it's not like any sort of like more favorable determination from the judge would have done anything anyways. Even if Rouleau had ruled that it was an unacceptable use of the Emergencies Act. We both know that Jagmeet Singh wouldn't have pulled his support for the government, that Justin Trudeau wouldn't have fallen on his sword and stepped down. These guys want power. They want to call elections when it's convenient to them. They're not about what's doing the best for Canadians or what's doing the morally right thing. It's all about politics.
Yeah.
It's all about maintaining power or increasing their power.
So what we can do to change that, we need to be active, we need to vote, we need to be there when there's an election and to express our point of view. And we are the alternative. And you need to vote for candidates who will support your values and in line with your values. And I hope that that will be the PPC candidate. But that being said, we need to put the right people in Parliament that will respect the Constitution and our Charter of Rights.